Your mind is running a program right now, not the one you chose, not the one you would choose if someone handed you a blank slate and said, write whatever you want here. A program installed before you were old enough to decide what to believe, before you were old enough to question what was being put inside you, before you even knew that a program was being installed at all. And that program, the one running underneath every thought, every decision, every attempt you have made to build something different, is the reason your manifestation has no signal. Not because you lack belief, not because you are not trying hard enough, not because the universe has decided you are not worthy of what you want, because you are broadcasting on the wrong frequency, and broadcasting on the wrong frequency produces the same result every time. The signal goes out, and nothing comes back. This is not a metaphor. This is not a motivational reframe. This is the precise technical explanation for why the affirmations don't land, why the vision boards collect dust, why the morning routine produces nothing, why you can believe something with your entire conscious mind and watch your life continue to produce the opposite. You are not broken, you are misprogrammed. And there is a difference. A broken instrument cannot be fixed. A misprogrammed one simply needs the correct signal inserted at the correct frequency. That frequency was documented by a man who spent his life repairing broken radios and televisions in a small town in Texas. His name was José Silva, and what he discovered while tracing faulty circuits through damaged equipment will change the way you understand everything you have ever tried. Some of you have been at this for years, not months, years. You have read the books, watched the videos, done the meditations, built the vision boards, repeated the affirmations until they felt meaningless from sheer repetition. And something is still not responding, not slowly responding, not responding at all. And you have started to wonder, not out loud, not to anyone who would understand, but privately, in the quiet moments, if maybe your mind simply does not work the way other people's do, if maybe there is something fundamentally different about you that makes this process available to everyone else and unavailable to you. That thought, that specific, private, exhausting thought, is the most accurate observation you have ever made about your situation. Not because you are different, because you are operating a sophisticated instrument without the manual. The manual existed. José Silva wrote it, and what he documented about why the mind refuses to respond to most programming attempts, the affirmations, the visualizations, the positive thinking, the gratitude journals, is more precise, more technical, and more immediately useful than anything the modern world has placed in your hands. Free, but stay, because what comes next is the part that was never explained to you, and once you hear it, you will understand everything that has and hasn't happened with absolute clarity. José Silva was born in 1914 in Laredo, Texas, the sixth of 13 children. His father died when he was 4 years old. By the age of 6, he was selling newspapers on the street to help feed his family. He never attended school, not a single day. Everything he knew, every skill, every concept, every framework he would later use to build one of the most influential mental training systems in history, he taught himself. He learned to read from a neighbor's discarded books. He learned electronics from a manual he found in a trash heap outside a repair shop. And he spent the next decade taking apart and reassembling every broken radio and television he could find, learning through his hands what no classroom ever taught him. And it was in that work, in the precise methodical process of tracing a broken signal through a damaged circuit, that he made the observation that would change the rest of his life. A signal sent at the wrong frequency reaches nothing. Not a weak signal, not a distorted signal, nothing. A receiver tuned to frequency A will not pick up a broadcast on frequency B, not because the transmitter isn't working, not because the signal isn't strong enough, because the frequencies do not match. Silva looked up from his workbench at the human beings around him, at their repeated failures, their repeated patterns, their sincere desires producing consistent disappointment. And he asked himself a question that nobody else was asking in 1940. What if the mind works exactly like a radio? What if the reason most people cannot reprogram their subconscious is not lack of effort or belief, but a frequency mismatch? What if they are trying to send new programming on a frequency the subconscious simply cannot receive? He spent the next 4 years testing that question, and what he found became the most precisely documented system for mental reprogramming ever assembled by a man who never went to school. Here is what Silva documented that nobody else was saying in the 1940s. Your brain does not operate at a single frequency. It operates at 4 distinct electrical frequencies, each with a completely different function, a completely different capability, and a completely different relationship to the subconscious mind. The first frequency is beta, 14 to 21 cycles per second. This is where you are right now. This is where you spend the vast majority of your waking life. Action, analysis, stress, logic, defense. Beta is your brain in output mode. In beta, your conscious mind is projecting outward, analyzing the external world, reacting to stimuli, defending your current beliefs, solving immediate problems. Beta is not a bad state. It is the correct state for navigating the practical demands of daily life. But here is what Silva documented with absolute precision. Beta does not accept new programs. It cannot. Not because of a flaw, because of a design. In beta, your brain is too busy processing and outputting information to receive new input at the subconscious level. Silva wrote, "Trying to reprogram the subconscious while operating in beta is like trying to write new data onto a hard drive, spinning at full speed while holding a magnet against it. The drive is not broken. It is simply too busy to accept new information. This is why your affirmations fail." Read that again. This is why your affirmations fail. Not because you don't believe them enough. Not because you haven't repeated them enough. Because you are repeating them in beta, the frequency where the subconscious is closed to new input. Your conscious mind hears the affirmation. Your subconscious never receives it. Because the frequency is wrong. This is why you can repeat, "I am abundant," 1,000 times, and look at your bank account and feel nothing shift. This is why the vision board can hang on your wall for years without producing a single result. This is why the morning routine, the journaling, the gratitude, the careful, deliberate, positive thinking can be executed perfectly and produce nothing. You are doing the work. At the wrong frequency, the second brain state is alpha, 7 to 14 cycles per second. This is where Silva spent his life. He called it the realm of creation, the bridge between the conscious and subconscious minds. The frequency where the subconscious is not closed, but open, receptive, writable. In alpha, the barrier between your conscious desires and your subconscious programming becomes permeable. What you place deliberately into the alpha state does not hit a spinning drive. It writes directly to the source code. Silva wrote, "The man who learns to enter alpha at will and insert his desired program has gained access to the control room." Not metaphorically, technically. He repeated that word. Technically, because he was not speaking as a spiritual teacher or a motivational speaker. He was speaking as an engineer who had traced the signal all the way back to its source and found the room where it originated, the control room of reality. And it operates at alpha. The third state is theta, 4 to 7 cycles per second, the realm of deep intuition, biological healing, and what Silva called higher intelligence access. Theta is where the mind connects to something beyond itself. Silva documented this carefully, not as mysticism, but as observation. In theta, the mind appears to access information it has no logical source for, solutions to problems that conscious analysis cannot solve, insights that arrive not through reasoning, but through direct knowing. Silva documented dozens of cases of individuals in theta states accurately describing situations, people, and conditions they had no prior knowledge of. Not because of supernatural ability, because at theta frequencies, the individual mind appears to connect with a broader field of information, one that Silva described simply as a larger bandwidth, a radio that can receive more stations because it has been tuned to a deeper frequency. The fourth state is delta, half a cycle to 4 cycles per second, deep, dreamless sleep, the state of complete physical restoration, and the state in which your subconscious processes everything it received during the day's waking hours. Silva understood that delta was not a passive state, it was the processing phase. The period in which the programs inserted during alpha were integrated, consolidated, and woven into the operating system. This is why the quality of your sleep, and more specifically, what you place in your mind in the minutes before sleep, directly determines the programs your subconscious reinforces overnight. More on that in a moment. But first, the most important thing Silva ever documented. Here is the part that breaks everything you have been taught. And this is going to be uncomfortable, because it means that most of what you have spent years doing was never going to work. Not because of you, because of the frequency. Modern manifestation teaches you this. Believe it strongly enough and it appears. Feel the feeling of having it and it comes. Visualize it clearly enough and it manifests Silva documented something completely different, something the modern world has never adequately explained. He said the subconscious does not respond to belief. It does not respond to feeling. It does not respond to visualization. It responds to frequency-matched input. And the frequency must be alpha, not beta, not wishful thinking, not conscious intention. Alpha. He documented this distinction with an analogy so precise it has stayed with every person who has ever heard it. He said, a radio station broadcasting on FM cannot be heard by a receiver set to AM. It does not matter how powerful the transmitter. It does not matter how sincere the broadcaster. It does not matter how beautiful the music. If the frequencies do not match, the receiver hears nothing. Your subconscious is the receiver. Beta is the wrong frequency. Alpha is the one it can hear. And almost nobody is teaching you how to enter alpha deliberately, consistently, and effectively. Silva spent 30 years documenting exactly how to do this. And it is not complicated. It is not mystical. It is not available only to the gifted or the spiritually advanced. It is a learnable, repeatable technical skill, and here is the precise method he documented. Step 1. Enter the alpha state deliberately. Silva's entry technique was elegantly simple. Find a quiet place, close your eyes. Begin counting slowly backward from 10 to 1. With each number, release a layer of beta-level tension, not through force, through permission. You are not pushing your brain into alpha. You are removing the beta stimulation that has been artificially keeping it elevated. By the count of 1, your brain has naturally descended into the alpha range. Silva documented a precise physical anchor for accessing alpha instantly once the state had been practiced. He called it the 3-finger technique. Each time you guide yourself into alpha, gently bring together the tips of your thumb, index, and middle finger. Do this every single time you enter the alpha state. After consistent practice, usually within a week to 10 days, this gesture alone becomes capable of triggering an immediate shift into alpha. Eyes open or closed, in traffic, in a meeting, in a crisis. The moment the fingers come together, the brain drops to alpha because it has been trained to associate that gesture with that state. You have created a biological trigger, an access key to your own control room that you can use at any moment of any day. Silva documented hundreds of cases of people using this technique to shift their mental state instantly in high-pressure situations. Before important conversations, before financial decisions, before creative challenges, and producing results that their beta state counterparts could not achieve. Not because of luck, because they had access to the frequency where the mind operates at its full capacity. Step 2. Insert the program at the correct level. This is where Silva differentiated himself from every visualization teacher who came before or after him. He said most people visualize wrong, not the content of the visualization, the perspective. Most people watch themselves from the outside. They see themselves achieving the goal the way you would see an actor in a film. Third person, external, observed. Silva said this produces almost nothing, because the nervous system does not respond to what you observe. It responds to what you experience. He wrote, your nervous system has no eyes. It cannot see the movie you are watching. It can only respond to the sensory data the brain provides, the signals that say, this is real, this is happening, this is now. When you watch yourself from the outside, you are watching a movie. When you step inside the image and look through your own eyes, you are having an experience. And the nervous system responds to experience, not observation. So the correct visualization technique, the one Silva documented as producing measurable physiological responses, is this. Enter alpha, step inside the scene, not above it, not beside it, inside it. Look through your own eyes. If you are visualizing a new home, touch the wall. Feel the texture under your fingertips. Walk through a doorway. Feel the temperature change as you move from one room to the next. Sit in a chair. Feel the weight of your body pressing into it. Hear the specific sounds of that specific place, the way sound moves in that room, the sounds from outside, the particular quality of silence when nothing moves. Silva wrote, when you supply full sensory input in the alpha state, your brain releases the actual chemistry of that experience. Dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, the precise neurochemical signature of the experience you are inhabiting. And that chemistry, not your words, not your affirmations, not your intentions, is the signal the field responds to. Because the field cannot hear your thoughts, it reads your chemistry. Your nervous system's chemistry is the broadcast. And when your chemistry says, this is real, this is normal, this is mine, the field responds by reorganizing circumstances to match that signal. This is not mysticism. This is the precise mechanism Silva documented in study after study in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, decades before neuroscience had language for what he was observing. Step 3. Protect the frequency for the rest of the day. This is the piece nobody teaches, and it is the piece that determines whether the 15 minutes you spend in alpha produce results or dissolve into nothing. Silva documented this with a precision that most people find uncomfortable when they first hear it. He said, 15 minutes of correct programming in alpha can be completely destroyed by 16 hours of beta-level self-sabotage, and most people are sabotaging themselves constantly, not intentionally, not dramatically, in small, habitual, automatic ways that they have never been taught to notice. He called it the language problem. Your subconscious receives every word you say about yourself in reality, spoken or thought, as a direct command. Not a complaint, not an expression, a command. When you say, "This is killing me," "I can't afford that," "I'll never get there," "I'm so stressed I could scream," your subconscious does not hear frustration. It hears instruction. Silva documented the physiological consequences of this with clinical precision. He observed patients whose repeated verbal patterns, phrases like "this job is making me sick," or "I'm worried to death about this," produced measurable physiological responses over time. The subconscious, receiving the instruction, "making me sick," thousands of times across years, began executing that command at the biological level, not metaphorically, literally. Silva wrote, "The subconscious has no sense of humor. It does not filter for intent. It does not understand that you are venting. It receives the words and executes the instruction. Every single time, without exception, without mercy." His documented solution was the cancellation protocol. The moment you catch a destructive phrase, spoken aloud or generated internally, stop immediately. Say the word "canceled" to yourself apologetically, firmly, "canceled." Then, and this is the critical step, immediately replace it. Replace the canceled phrase with the specific instruction you actually want. Not a vague positive, not "I am wonderful and things are fine." A specific, present tense, concrete instruction. "Money flows to me from multiple sources, and this situation is already resolving. My body is strong, and my health is improving daily. The solution to this is already in motion, and I will recognize it when it arrives." Silva was precise about why the replacement must be immediate. He said, "When you cancel a program, you create a void. The subconscious cannot hold a void. If you do not immediately install the replacement program, the old one rushes back to fill the empty space. You must cancel and replace in a single movement." He documented that with consistent practice, usually within 3 to 4 weeks, the new programs begin to feel more natural than the old ones. Not because you have convinced yourself of something false, because you have overwritten the old source code with new instructions. And the subconscious, which cannot distinguish between a deeply lived experience and a consistently repeated instruction supplied at the correct frequency, accepts the new program as its operating reality and begins producing results accordingly. 1944, Laredo, Texas. José Silva is sitting at a workbench surrounded by broken radios. He has been testing a theory for 3 years, a theory his neighbors consider strange, a theory his family considers somewhere between ambitious and delusional, a theory that a self-taught radio technician has no business pursuing. He has been working with his daughter Dahlia, guiding her into a relaxed state, counting her down into what he is beginning to understand is the alpha frequency, and then asking her questions. Not about herself, about other people. People she has never met. People whose names he gives her without any other information, and she describes them, not vaguely, with specific verifiable detail. She describes the appearance of a person she has never seen. She describes the medical condition of a child she has never met. She describes the interior of a building she has never entered. Silva sits at that workbench for a long time after the session ends. Not because he is amazed. He has seen too many sessions at this point to be amazed. He sits because he is thinking through the engineering implications of what he has just witnessed. If his daughter, in alpha, can access information about people and places she has no direct knowledge of, then the alpha state is not merely a more receptive frequency for the individual mind. It is a connection point, a place where the individual mind interfaces with something larger, a broader field, a wider network. Silva, thinking like the radio technician he was, understood immediately what this meant. A radio tuned to the right frequency does not just receive signals from nearby transmitters. It receives signals from anywhere in the broadcast range. The alpha state was not just opening the individual subconscious to new programming. It was tuning the individual mind into a field of information that extended far beyond the boundaries of one person's experience. He called this the higher intelligence. Not as a religious concept, as an engineering observation, a network that the alpha-tuned mind could access for solutions, for information, for guidance that the beta mind could not generate on its own. And he documented a specific technique for submitting requests to that network. He called it the glass of water technique. Tonight, before you sleep, which Silva documented as the most powerful programming window of the entire 24-hour cycle, fill a glass with water. Hold it with both hands, fingers slightly separated. Close your eyes. Roll them gently upward. This physical movement, Silva documented, facilitates a rapid descent into alpha. Drink half the water while stating your request clearly, specifically, and without desperation. Not "I need money desperately." The solution to this financial situation is already in motion, and I am ready to recognize it when it arrives. Cover the glass. Place it beside your bed. Go to sleep. As you sleep, your brain descends through alpha and theta into delta. The request you submitted is now being processed by the subconscious and transmitted through the alpha network to the broader field. In the morning, before you have checked your phone, before you have spoken to anyone, before the beta state has reasserted itself, drink the remaining water. Repeat the request. Then go about your day with the expectation, not the hope, not the wish, the expectation that the answer will arrive. Silva documented that the answer most commonly arrives in one of four forms. A dream that contains specific actionable information, a sudden insight during a routine, mindless activity, an unexpected encounter with a person who provides the exact information needed, a circumstance that appears coincidental. He was categorical about one thing. When the answer arrives, recognize it and act on it. The field responds to requests submitted at the correct frequency, but it cannot act on your behalf in the physical world. That is your responsibility. The insight arrives. The action is yours. Silva spent the next 30 years refining and documenting every aspect of this system. He trained over 6 million people across more than 100 countries, business leaders, physicians, athletes, educators, government officials, people who had every conventional advantage in the world and still sought something more precise, more reliable, more technically grounded than what the mainstream offered. And what he told every one of them was the same thing. I am not teaching you mysticism. I am teaching you engineering. The mind is an instrument. Like every instrument, it has an operating frequency. Like every instrument, it produces optimal results when used at the frequency it was designed for. You have been using it at the wrong frequency. Not because you were careless, because nobody showed you there was a different one. The complete method, every technique Silva documented across 3 decades of research, is in the link below. The 3-finger anchor, the mental screen technique, the glass of water method, the complete alpha entry sequence, the cancellation and replacement protocol, the higher intelligence access technique, everything, not a summary, not a modern interpretation, the original documented method, free. The link is in the description. If something shifted while you were here, that is where it continues. José Silva said one thing at the end of every seminar he ever gave. He said it in 1944. He was still saying it at the end of his life in 1999. He said, "I am just Jose the radio technician. I do not want followers. I do not want disciples. I do not want you to believe me. I want you to test this. I want you to apply these techniques with the same skepticism you would bring to any technical claim. And when the coincidences begin to stack, when the solutions arrive through channels you did not plan, when the people appear at exactly the moment they are needed, when the circumstances reorganize themselves in ways your beta mind could not have engineered, you will not call it luck. You will call it what it is, the correct frequency producing the correct results, because that is all it has ever been. A signal, sent at the right frequency, received by the field, returned as reality. Your mind has been misprogrammed for a very long time, not because you failed, because nobody handed you the manual. The manual was written in 1944 by a man who fixed radios for a living and discovered, almost by accident, that the human mind operates by the same laws as every other transmission system in the universe. The laws have not changed. The frequency has not moved. The control room is still there, waiting for you to tune in.